Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi. My guest, Tiff Countryman, is here, and she's going to give you the goods and let you know who she is and what she's all about. Tiff, take it away.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Tiff Countryman, the homie. I'm here hanging out with Miss Tammi today. And I guess, am I just going to talk about who I am, what I do, and how I'm changing the world out here in these streets?
That's what you're going to do.
All right, cool. So I am the CEO and founder of MinistryisMe Ministries. That's MinistryisMe. One word, like a hashtag. Ministry is me. Ministries. You can find me at ministryisme.com. And basically, what we do is that we're our faith-based event planning and project management company. We help those that are guided by the Holy Spirit to manifest their wildest dreams. We take you from conception to manifestation. So you get with us to project manage your events, your endeavors, your side hustles, whatever it is that you got going on in the name of the Lord. We help you do that. Individually, I am a public speaker, I'm a podcast host, I'm a mom. I do a lot of things. I have a t-shirt line called All Black Lives Matter, where we focus on the autonomy of the Black family and how each and every individual matters in order to create legacy and to help continue what our ancestors left behind for us to till. I do a lot. I meet with a lot of people. I do a lot of things, do a lot of community work. I love my community. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. I'm currently residing in Beaver Creek, Ohio. However, I am a graduate of the Dayton Public School System, proud graduate of that system, and I give back as much as I can. So Tammi, let me know what else you want to know and how we dig deep. Let's go.
All right. So what gave you the idea to do this company? Because I know this is not something you did from, a child.
No, well, servitude is something that I've done since I was a child. So my grandmother raised us. We were in a house. It was 6 people living in a 2-bedroom house. My parents, my siblings, my grandmother, and myself, of course. And my grandmother was very active in the church. She was always going to the church to do something, whether it was an usher board meeting, choir rehearsal. I remember always cooking on Saturday nights to take food to the church on Sunday. So she was always active in the church. So when I finally got the chance to go with her to church, I got to see what she was doing as a church mother, how she was serving. She was serving the kitchen. She was serving the choir. She was served on the usher board. And I would see her then expand that to community outreach initiatives. I remember when she started the neighborhood watch committee in our neighborhood, and she was the lead of that. So service has always been a part of my life. I was called to ministry at the tender age of 21. I know everybody was out having a good time, living their college lives, doing what they was doing. I was focused in ministry. I was preaching, I was serving in the church. And as life has it, some tension and contention arose because I'm not a traditionalist. I'm not someone that goes by the dogma of tradition, of denomination separation, if you will. So I realized that I did have a purpose, that I had a ministry, but it wasn't the traditional ministry of just strictly behind the pulpit. Now I can preach and I can teach if they really want me to, but that's not all that God put inside of me.
Yes.
So I started doing events. I started helping people manifest stuff. It was just something that I did ever since I was in college. I was putting events together. I was helping people put their projects together. I was always there to help serve and set it up. I had a quick mind. My mind works quickly in understanding that you need A, B, C, D, E, F, G in order to get to Z. So I was always operating in that area. It wasn't until the pandemic 2020 to where I realized that this is exactly where God has for me to be, especially in the virtual space. Virtual project management has allowed my company to expand all around the world. We have clients in Africa, we have clients in New Zealand, and we have clients in the UK as well as in North America. So it was really, Tammy, just doing me and going with the flow and pivoting when I needed to the most.
That is amazing, because to be honest with you, I talked to so many people that the pandemic has been a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, a lot of people are thinking about it, and and what I'm finding out is that the way you think about it is the way it is for you.
Absolutely.
So if you think it was a blessing, which I do, I think
Yeah.
it was amazing. I mean, even though there were some things like, people were more locked down and all this stuff, but for me, I thought it was amazing because it allowed me to do the same, just like you said. It
Yeah.
allowed me to shift some things. It allows me to shift my mindset and actually
Absolutely.
be, able to do more things than just going out and doing them in the world. You know what I mean? And so now for me, I'm ready to go back out in the world.
Absolutely.
I'm doing some things, um, networking with some people on the outside and stuff like that. And some of that stuff I probably really wouldn't have done before,
Yeah.
because I tell people I play an extrovert on TV and Facebook, but I am truly within myself an introvert. I could,
Really?
yes, I could truly be right here in my office, doing what I do
Mhm.
just fine. My husband sometimes has to come grab me out of my office because I'll be right in here and I'm just as comfortable and I'm good,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I think that's amazing. What were you going to school for?
I went to school for communication studies. I received my Associate of Arts in Communication Studies, and then I went to Central Michigan University, which was a global campus. It was all online schooling for composition and rhetoric studies. So I'm a playwright. I don't know how I omitted that. That's my number one passion is playwriting. I've written and produced 4 stage plays. We're currently in our rotation of an encore showing of the play that we released this year titled Rona, the Aftermath. And it deals with 2 married couples in quarantine. One emerges triumphant and another ends in a divorce. So it's an awesome stage play
Wow.
that hits all type of things. Of course, the Black Lives Matter movement, the George Floyd murder, the Breonna Taylor murder, and just really the emotional and mental agony that individuals as well as couples endured during the quarantine. So playwriting is my passion. Sometimes I forget it because I have to focus on so many other things in order for playwriting to work, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yes.
that's where I'm
And
at.
what's funny is that was one of the things I read. And
Yeah.
that's why I said, there's something missing that she didn't share yet. I understand that because I also write books as well.
Okay.
And I want to do some screenplays, but to be honest with you, um, I'm not sure if that is where I'm supposed to go with that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because I really want to bring my book to life. I
Yeah.
really want, I've already sent it to Oprah.
Okay. Did
And
she
I mean,
respond?
no, not yet. I think I sent it to
Okay.
like somebody in her office because I was like, I know how that goes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I really, I want to do that because I really feel like, I've gotten so much amazing response from the book. And so
Yeah.
many people were like, this touched me. And, I didn't experience anything exactly like this, but this touched me, and and it changed me and stuff. I've gotten so much positive response. And so I was like, I really want that to happen. And my mom is like, well, you should do a write it and do a playwright. I'm like, mom, see, wait. I'm already doing a lot of stuff, and so I was like, we're just gonna chill on that.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yes, because I went and I read that on your profile, and I was like, okay, this girl is badass.
Listen, here's the thing, Tammi. When it comes to art, like, you can't rush it, you can't force it. And what I love about books is that they give you so much more imagery than an actual movie does. Because our
Yes,
greatest gift is our personal imagination. It is something that no one can take from us, and it's something that no one can control. And one
yes,
of the greatest experiences as reading a book is that you have the liberty and the privilege to create your own reality of the writer's words. Whereas when you take those words and you put it into a movie, someone else is painting the picture for you. A book that I always reference is The Color Purple. I was one of the few that read the book first before I watched the movie,
yeah,
and the book is so rich. It's so rich, and it gives so much. It shows so many different sides of a
the
Black woman, so many
details.
different sides of a relationship, of what the times were, that the movie just was not able to express, either because of the obscenery or because of the budget or because of the time. So with art, it's not something that can be rushed or molded by someone outside of our souls. It's something that has to be birthed within us
Yes,
and then manifested through the Holy Spirit. So yeah, take your
I
time
agree. I
and
agree. I
lean
agree.
into it. Yeah.
I agree, because it's like you sound like me, like you were a reader growing
Mm-hmm.
up. I was a reader. I read The Color Purple probably 3 times before the movie ever came out. Because I
Yeah.
started when I was like young, reading
Yeah.
Alice Walker and Maya Angelou, and another friend of mine and I were talking about Malcolm X. And I was
Mm.
like, yeah, I read Malcolm X like 3 times before before I
Mm.
ever watched the movie. I read The Godfather, which I loved.
Yeah.
The book was fabulous. To
Yeah.
me, it was one of the only movies that actually kind of really resembled the book. Probably why it was 3 hours long. You know,
Probably. Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with that. And I think for me, books would take me places when I
Yeah.
was young.
Yeah.
Regardless of what was going on, in my house, or what was going on around me, how people acted, books would take me places. And I always love books. And even now, I have my Kindle on the phone. I
Mhm.
listen to the Audibles. I got 50,000 Audibles. I got books everywhere. And I
Everywhere.
used to, right? So I get you. And that is like so fabulous. So I'm trying to figure out, how did that come together when you decided to start doing the events? I mean, did that spill off from the playwriting, or how did that just come for you? Because it
Um,
feels like it was organic, like it was something, um like I just watched the movie Something the Lord Made. That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah, it was very organic to the point that I didn't even know that I was doing it. So to go deeper into the story, so in 2020, the Holy Spirit woke me up out of my sleep and said, "Now's the time to rebrand." Ministries, Ministries had been in operation since 2013.
Oh wow.
And we were doing a lot of just religion based and community events. We would have church services. I remember we had 4 years straight where we did the seven last word services, where we would bring different preachers and ministers and pastors from different churches into one local assembly and service, and they all bring their churches, and it was a great time. I remember we had Mother's Day banquets to honor the mothers at the convention center here in Dayton, Ohio. We did that for 4 years straight as well. So I was doing events, managing events, but not knowing that I was. So I had a real basic website. It was a website that was created by myself on Weebly. Like, it was real basic, which back in 2013 was good enough.
Oh, yeah.
But as stuff was evolving, it looked basic and old and outdated. And my personal assistant, she had mentioned it to me like a year or so before the pandemic. And I was like, ain't nobody worried about that, because I was so focused on just doing the work that I wasn't really caught up in branding, things like that. And then when the Lord woke me up, I said, okay. So I reached out to a couple of branding specialists to get their opinions and their directions. And they told me that, first of all, I needed to brand myself outside of MIM. So that's why there's now a Tiff Countryman brand, the MIM brand, because MIM should be able to exist whether I'm in the mix or not, which is beginning to, and it's kind of scary. And
I was gonna ask you, how did you feel about that? Because it sounds like MIM is your baby.
MIM is my baby. MIM is my baby. It was birthed out of grief, out of turmoil. It was birthed, I don't want to say out of rebellion, because rebellion has such a negative connotation, which it should, but it was birthed out of rebellion from the status quo of church, of what church had become. I'm a millennial, and I'm part of the generation that got to be brought up by church mothers and got to see the real community of the Black church. And I was a part of the evolution of the choirs turning into praise teams. And now there's televangelism, and now there's mega churches, which I have absolutely nothing against. But what happened is that it took the pure essence of what church was, particularly for the Black community, and it made it into something that's more
a monster.
A monster. So MIM was literally birthed in rebellion to that. It was more of a, let's take us back to the basics. Let's build and harness community. So when I sat down with the specialists last year, they pretty much said, well, you know that you're doing project management, you're a project manager, and your project managed company, because we were doing what we're doing for so many different people, but we were doing it for free. That was the problem. We were manifesting events, manifesting purpose, manifesting ideas, endeavors, businesses for free, because we were doing it all in the name of the Lord, which is fine, but your creative energy is priceless. So that literally, that's how it happened. I wasn't searching it. I just went with it, and here it is.
That is powerful, because I know that people are so excited to hear about this kind of thing, because this is what people want.
Yeah.
You know, they want something to evolve out of themselves, you know, and it's like so many times people don't. And it sounds like what you were doing, if you did it for free, that means you have a love for it.
I do.
You know, and that to me, that's priceless, you know, but you know, they're right, of course, because I feel the same way. It's like, if I would do, you know, what I do for free because I love it so much, you know, however, you know, I would really like to quit my job too.
Yeah.
You know, and I
did,
you know,
in October 2020.
Nice.
In America. I said, F it, literally. The racism, the nepotism, the classism.
Yes.
It's sickening.
The ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for a Black woman.
Yes.
There's not much. We can get all the schooling in the world. And the sad reality is, if we don't have our own, we don't have anything. If we don't have our own, we don't have anything.
Now that's real talk.
And you know, Tammi, just to build on the conversation, I'm sorry if I'm taking your questions away from
you.
No.
This is how it's supposed to go. You're good.
Beautiful, because this is such a vulnerable space. I like this. To build on top of the conversation, when we talk about the church and traditionalism and ministry, I have a gift of the prophetic. I have a prophetic anointing, a prophetic gift.
Yes,
However, it's told, or it's taught to us growing up, that the only way that you're a prophet is if you're operating inside the church and you're speaking to somebody and they falling out, and you know, it's
you in the fivefold ministries.
Yes.
Yes.
That's just a whole scene, right?
Yeah.
But God has allowed me to use my prophetic gift to help guide people to their destination, to their destiny, to their purpose, which is what the prophetic does. Is it gives you guidance, it gives you warning, and
Yeah.
say, okay, if you do this, then this will happen. If you do that, then this will happen.
Come
So
on.
it's like my gift is literally making room for me, because
Yes.
people come to us as clients. It's not a, it's not a spooky type situation. We do pray, we do yield to the Holy Spirit. Sometimes I say, let's pause this and see what God says. But it's operating in that prophetic vein. And this is the pivot, this is the shift of ministry. It's no longer going to be as we once knew it to be.
But that's what it's supposed to be. Because what I say is, I tell people all the time, I believe in God, but I
Mhm.
don't believe in religion.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I said I was raised, like you. I was raised Pentecostal holiness in the fivefold ministry, and my grandmother was a pastor, preacher, teacher, evangelist, prophetess type,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
she was so progressive. She
Yeah.
started before she left here. She started getting into like the law of attraction, and she started
Hmm.
getting into meditation and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And a lot of people didn't know, but I did, because I was her. She was my person. I
Yeah.
was super close to her, and it's amazing because I think back to it. It's like I probably have about 30 first cousins. It's a lot
Wow.
of us.
Uh-huh.
She had 10 kids,
Okay.
so it's a lot of us. And but I was the one, and it was crazy. But she imparted so much into me, and I
Mhm.
feel like I'm carrying her legacy, but I'm doing it my way,
Yeah.
and I'm not doing it according to, because just like you, that's what they call me, prophetess,
Yeah.
but I'm doing it in a different way,
Absolutely.
and that is okay.
It is,
But
because it's still changing and touching lives, and that's
yeah,
what we're here for.
exactly. But I had to get to a place where I recognized that it was okay, and I actually, whew, it's been a journey, so it's like, okay, so when I hear you say that, I know what you're talking about. And because I was doing a live today talking about healing, because that is where I'm supposed to be. I'm
Hmm.
supposed to help people to heal, and not this craziness that people are doing. I'm talking about real healing,
Yeah.
from the inside out. And so that's where I'm being called. And for me, it was funny because the Spirit told me at the beginning of this year, it's time for you to go deeper.
Mm.
I didn't know what that meant at that time. I was like, what are you talking about? And as the year has gone by, it's like, that's where I'm going. It's just
Yeah.
deeper and deeper, and just a deeper connection, and really connecting to my spiritual team and the ancestors. It's just really been that way for me.
Mm.
And so I can see that, when you go against what the status quo is, it's almost like you feel like you are standing alone,
Yeah.
because you've had all these people surrounding you. And and I can see that in the church, it's like they put people with the prophetic gift on a pedestal,
Hmm.
and sometimes it goes awry.
Hmm.
That's the word I'm going to use, right?
Because we're not meant to be on the pedestal. The
Exactly.
Bible says to put your trust in no man. It
Yes,
also says to not have any other gods before thee. These
exactly.
pastors, preachers, prophets, whatever, yes, they are called and they are due their respect and honor, but they're not gods.
Exactly.
That's why they fall every time, because they're flesh.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so as you go forward,
Hmm.
where do you see yourself as you take Ministry is Me, and you take Tiff Countryman? Where do you
Hmm.
see yourself?
I see us in a space to where resources will be unlimited, to where we can help those who need it the most. What I don't want to do, and I'm sure this is going to come back to bite me in the spirit or in the natural, but I'm just going to say it anyway. What I don't want to do is become a company that's so big that only serves big people. I'm not striving to project manage an event for TD Jakes in the Potter's house. I'm not striving to project manage an event for Ayanna Van Zant or any other spiritual figure in the world. I am striving to service those who don't have opportunity, who don't have exposure, and who don't have a voice. I am here to help those who are afraid, who are alone, and who are marginalized, who honestly believes that they cannot do what they've been dreaming about, who has somehow convinced themselves that what they did yesterday, last week, last year, 5 years ago, disqualifies them from becoming who
Yes.
God has called them to be.
Mm.
I believe in order for me to do that is for God to supply an unlimited amount of resources, whether that's by connection, whether that's by bartering services, where we can get our clients what they need in order to be exactly who God has created them to be. So if that means we become so big that all I have to do is pick up the phone and call Bishop T.D. Jakes and pick up the phone and call Ayanna Van Zant, and I can run a favor, then that's where I see us going. I see us remaining that entity that services small business owners and allowing them with the Spirit of God to bring their dream, their purpose, their destiny from conception to manifestation
That
by any means necessary.
that is a powerful vision. Are you currently doing it a nonprofit, or what are you doing?
It is under a nonprofit. We do charge our clients a small fee because we need that buy-in. We need to know that you're serious. Because, like I
Well,
said,
they
I
have
was
to
doing,
have skin in the game.
yeah, they have to. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, then you're not willing to
You can't
succeed.
expect nobody else.
You can't. And like I said, I did it for free for 7 years. For free. Like when we do church services, we would take up a love offering. When we would do empowerment events, we would charge the ticket price to cover the meal in the venue. I wasn't making any money off of this. So I know what it's like for Negroes, how they act when stuff is for free. They don't show up to meetings. They don't follow up on their homework. They don't come with any type of, progress of where we were the last meeting because there's no investment. They have nothing to lose.
And
Because to them, my hardest job is to get my clients that God sends me unstuck, to get them out of that place of fear, that place of doubt. So if you're already there and you don't have no money in the game, it's going to be easy for you to just stay in the bed and watch TV. It's going to be
no,
easy
I'm
for
not gonna do
you,
that.
yeah, to say I'll do it next year.
Mhm.
So there is a small fee that's very affordable depending on where you're at, that we charge. But other than that, it is registered as a nonprofit.
So you
Uh,
do a lot of mindset work.
Mindset work is the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Because like with your grandmother, the law of attraction is very real, and it's not something that's demonic or wicked or against
There you
God.
go.
It's all throughout the Bible. If we talk about
Yes.
Christianity, law of attraction is all throughout the Bible. Knock and the
Yes.
door shall be open. Ask and it
Yes.
shall be given unto
What is
you.
it?
Life
Ask,
and
seek, and
death,
knock. Yes.
yes, life and death is in the power of the
Power of the
tongue. As
tongue.
a
Yes.
man thinketh,
So is
so
he.
is he. But what the
Yeah.
church has done is they have sexualized it and made that
Yeah.
scripture come to say that if you looking after a man or a woman and you lusting, then you've already committed the act. When that's not even what that scripture meant. It meant
No.
who you believe that you are. That's who you are. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whatever it is that you believe in carrying in your heart, that is how you manifest. So
Yes.
it's 90%. It's 90% hard work and my work, shadow work, is what is called in the the books and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's I love it. I love it because it's a gift that God has given me. And yeah, I'm here for it.
That's yeah. You and I are very similar in that way, because that's the way I feel. It's
It was
like,
meant to be, Tammy. This was meant to
you know
happen.
it. It's like, you know,
I said, I told somebody, I said, I said, I interview people. I said, and it's amazing. I said, I interview them. I don't even know them. I said, and then we get to be fast friends. I said, because I can see your vision and it's just so amazing
Praise
just
God.
to have you to articulate just the fact that you want to help people that are not, because everybody wants to, what is the thing they always talk about in social media? Everybody wants to get the 10K months, right?
Everybody. Everybody.
I can show you how to do 10K months. I'll be like, yeah, okay. But what God said to me was, don't look at the numbers.
Mhm.
That was what he said to me this year because I started, really diving deep into this healing because I need some healing myself, got
Yeah.
some healing I wanted. And so I started really diving deep into that. And so now he's like, okay, I need you to help people and guide them, you know.
Mhm.
So my series that I'm doing that the spirit led me to do is Awaken the Healer Within.
Mm.
And in that, it is something that when I talk about it, I have to share this is not a religious thing. This is healing from God
Mhm.
because in the book, he says that we are supposed to be healed. I said, and he created us in his image and in his likeness in perfect. So we're not supposed to be walking around here carrying all these diseases.
Yeah.
So that ministered to me what you said about helping people that really need help, also making sure that they have some skin in the game,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the thing. So many people, they won't help people that, the smaller, community centers and, the smaller ministries or people that are getting off the ground and stuff like that. They want to go with the TD Jakes and the Ayala
Yeah.
Van Zandt and the Deepak Chopra and whoever is doing, whatever. But there's such a need,
Such.
and so you're filling a gap with
Yeah.
that. And
That's
I can feel your passion. And that's the thing that just, that's the thing that's going to, you know, make your business just move. It's the
praise God.
passion.
Do it, Lord. Do it.
It is. It's done. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the passion is because there's so many businesses that need that,
Mhm.
and it's like I can feel the fact that you would have a love for them,
Yeah.
because that's the thing people need.
Mm.
They have this vision and they don't have no support because they don't have $10,000 to pay somebody for coaching,
Yeah.
but they need some support, they need some help, they need something, and just like you said, the first thing is the mindset.
Mhm.
For me it's like, you know I've been teaching the first thing is love.
Mhm.
Because if you don't love yourself, and I keep hearing that song, that Aretha Franklin song going through my head, if you don't respect yourself, ain't nobody gonna respect you. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with love. If you don't love yourself, nobody else can love you. It's got to start there. And so many things that we deal with in our life is because we don't love ourselves.
Mm.
So many diseases. I mean, it's just incredible. It's so many things that really stem from that place. And so to me, with you dealing with the mindset, that really is what you're doing, is showing people how to love themselves,
Yeah.
how to respect themselves,
Yeah.
how to be kind to themselves, and how to get out of their own head and their mind from all the craziness that has been put in their head from maybe growing up, and you know
Absolutely.
all kinds of stuff. So
Absolutely.
anyway, I have truly enjoyed this. I have one more question though. If you
Yes.
were to, if somebody was to come to you and they said, okay, this is what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this place, the place where you were, what would you
Mm-hmm.
say to them? What would be something that you would say that would help them, that would guide them?
I have to always know that they're serious, Tammy, because some people, even though they may pay the fee, they're not ready to do the work. So when
Yes.
someone comes to me, I pretty much put them off for about a month or so, because my time is so valuable. And again, I've been doing this since I was 21 years. I'm 33 now. So I know I'm
Baby.
young. I know I'm young, but I've been doing this for so long that I have such a low tolerance for the BS, right? Like either you want to do the work or you don't.
Right.
So I ask people when they first come, I say, what is your intention with this project? What is your intention? And 9 times out of 10, no one can answer that on the first go, because what happens is you get this idea. Oh, I have an idea. I want to open up an entertainment store. Boom. But what's your intention with this entertainment store? Who do you want to service? What type of entertainment do you want to expose people to? Are you concerned about art? Or are you concerned about all the other reality TV and stuff? That is, important. But what is your intention? So that's what I asked them. What's your intention? Once they're able to answer that, I ask them, how much time do you have to put into this? Take a realistic inventory of your life. Do you have a significant other, whether that's a partner, spouse, you're estranged? Is there somebody else in your life that requires your attention? Do you have children that are in school, that are growing up, that are in college? Do you have somebody or some little person that at any time or any given day they're going to take your attention,
Sure.
which is expected?
Yes.
So take a real inventory of your life. What is your intentions? And do you have the time to do the work? And then the third thing is, what is your budget? How much are you able, not willing to, how much are you able to put into this project? And then once all of that is clear, I have like this peace about it, because I've had people to where it's like, no, we're not meant to work together, and that's okay. It really is okay, because there's somebody for everybody. But once
Yes.
I get that peace, then we go into a consult, and the consult is with my team. I have a director of client success, I have an executive administrative assistant, and I have 2 interns, a male and a female intern. They're all well versed in spirituality and Christianity, as well as business aspects. My director of client success, she has her master's in mental health. She has a master's in that, so she's able to really work with a person, really, work with them, not just
Yes.
instruct them, but work with them. So then we set up a consult. So the first thing is, what are your intentions? What time do you have to put into this? And what are you willing to invest? Once those 3 answers come back clear, then we'll set up a consult with the team and we'll get working. Once the consult is completed, we give our recommendations. This is how much time we have: 6 month and 1 month contracts. We'll make a suggestion. We suggest that you do a 6 month contract, and then within those 6 months, this is what we're going to do. So it's more so us proposing to them, this is what we can do with what you told us that you need. And then they decide on whether or not they're going to commit. I have a contract. Everything is a contract.
Yes.
So I do things to see the investment. So I'll send them the contract, and then I say, you need to print this off, sign it, and mail it to me. Yeah, they can just send it back electronically, but I want to know, are you going to go through the things that's needed to be done in order for this to work? Do you trust my instruction? Do you trust my process? So once the contract is signed, and once they mail it back, and once they make their first monthly payment, we're getting to work. Most of our contracts, we meet with our clients twice a month. We have a Zoom virtual, because like I said, a lot of my clients are out of the state. We have a virtual meeting to where we say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is your coaching. This is your mentoring. This is what you need to do. This is your homework. Next time we meet, you need to have 3 vendors. You need to have da 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 da. Then we come back, we go over the homework, and then we go through the next steps until the project, the event, or the endeavor is manifested, and we get them to manifestation. So let me make that clear. Once manifestation happens, we're no longer the water. God is doing the increase. So 1 plants, 1 waters, 1 increase. We believe that we're the water. We get that bud spouting, but then it's God that does the increase. So once we bring it to manifestation, we give you some recommendations or who you need to connect with and where you need to go with this, then we're done. And we let God do the rest.
See, that's powerful. That is so powerful. The thing is you're right about that though, because we're not meant to work with everyone and everybody. I tell people all the time, I said, I'm one of those people that I don't sugarcoat nothing. So
Yeah.
if that's what you need, then it's not me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the
And
truth,
that's true. There are
right?
people that's uber sensitive. They
Yeah.
take, because I'm very blunt and direct as well. And that's we're prophets, so that's a blessing and a curse that
Yeah.
we have to deal with.
Yeah.
But some people need the coddling and hand holding. I'm not that. That ain't me. That ain't
I
me.
wasn't even that as a mother.
I know. I'm trying to do better, but it's hard.
I did the best I could, and my kids, they understood. My son actually just turned 30,
Uh-huh.
and and he's so funny because he has a 10-year-old. So he's like,
Hmm.
"Mom, I don't know how you did it." I said, and you don't even live with yours. So I mean, it's not that bad. I said, you're parenting from a distance. I said, and it's okay. I said, but yeah, I wasn't even that kind of mother. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I wasn't that, and yeah, I had a situation and I talked to my daughter about it. And I said, I said, she thought I was going to kiss her behind, another child that's not mine. And
Hmm.
my daughter was like, she didn't
And
know.
Tammi, I'm so comforted in you saying that my daughter is 7, and I've been going back and forth lately because I'm not the foo but I'm not that type. I'm like, I'm gonna get you ready
Yeah.
for the world, and I'm going to love the mess out of you. I'm gonna make sure that you
Yes.
clean, that you fed, but I don't have
Mhm.
that in me, and I know other mothers that do. So sometimes it's like an internal battle, like, should I be a little bit more? And I'm like,
No.
no, I'm gonna show up as myself. God gave my daughter to me. He
Yes.
knew who I was
And she chose
before
you.
I prayed it. And she chose me.
Mhm.
She chose me. I wholeheartedly believe that. So thank you for saying that, because that brought me some comfort tonight.
Oh yes, I'm telling you, and it's fine, because I know people now that they're my age and their kids, they still live with them and they're grown, and I'm like, see, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. I
Mm-hmm.
tell them, I'm like, I don't know. And my mom was like, well, you're a little hard on your kids and this and that. But you know what she told me just about 2 years ago?
What
She
she
said,
said.
I'm so proud of you how you raised your kids
Mm-hmm.
because they are independent. My son went in the military 2 weeks after he graduated from high school,
Yeah.
17 years old. My daughter moved out at 19 because I told her I needed her to pay about $250 a month if she was going to stay there. She was in college working. I said, I need you to help. I need some help. I've been
Yeah.
working like a mule, making sure that y'all get everything. Y'all know I worked 2, 3 jobs almost the whole time they was growing up. I said, and I need some help. I'm tired. I can't work like that no more. I'm getting too old.
Yeah.
And she said, I said, I just need about $250 a month, so you can pay the light bill, this and whatever. So this heifer said that if she was gonna pay, then she could get her own place.
Which was
So
more
I
than
said, okay,
250, huh?
cool, right? I said, but you gonna find something for $250 a month? Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
And so she moved out, and that was that. 19.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because my thing was my ex was not, he was not a good father. And so I knew that if anything happened to me, I needed them to be able to take care of themselves. My kids were 19 months apart. So they were, right close. And then I
Mm-hmm.
raised I call him my bonus son,
Mm-hmm.
but I needed them to be able to manage, because I always thought that way. I said, if anything happens to me, I ain't got nobody to take my kids because my
Yeah.
mama was still raising her own.
Mm.
And my mother-in-law, I loved her, but she smoked so bad, and I didn't want my kids. She would like super chain smoke at the kitchen table, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Old
Like,
school.
yeah, I was like, they don't need to be around that. So I was like, I don't know what would happen to my kids. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I need y'all to make sure that you know what to do and you know how to, take care of yourself and all that. And so that's how I raised mine. And I got a lot of criticism for it. That's the reason why I said to you, no, don't worry about it. You do what you do, because that's your child.
Thank you.
But I did the same thing. They were like, well, you don't let your kids sleep with you in the bed when they were babies. I said, no, that's why I bought them a crib. Otherwise, no. I was like, no, I sleep hard. I don't want to roll over on them. You know what I mean? And besides, they need to be in their own darn bed.
Yeah.
And
as they get older, that doesn't go away. Like they still want to stay in there.
Honey, that's why these people be having their kids, they be 10 and 12 and 14 laying up in the bed with them, sleeping. Now mom would get in the bed with me for a little bit if they weren't feeling good or something, they'd be like, Mommy, and they come lay with me for an hour or two, and then they behind up and go get in their own bed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. But I got a lot of flack about that, from family, but I didn't care, because I was like, you know what? These children are mine.
Yeah.
They cut them out of me. I had C-sections. Yeah. They cut them out of me. None of y'all got scars for them, and that was kind of how that went. So yeah, you do what you do.
All of that. I receive all of that because I hear from my mama.
You raise your baby like you're supposed to, and like you're guided, because what, just like you said, God guides us in everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because people don't know what your child might have to go through in that particular way that you raised her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, we don't know. So you do what you do, and don't let nobody tell you, nothing else.
And that's that.
All right. I appreciate you for joining me. This has been so fire. Look, you see, I don't even want to get off. It's been over 30 minutes, but it's okay, because this is my show.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You have been so amazing. And I hope that everybody else has enjoyed Miss Tiff today. So let everybody know where they can find you when they want to connect, because I know they're going to want to.
Absolutely. You can go to TiffanyCountryman.com, TiffanyCountryman.com. From there, you can connect with my social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm at Tiff Countryman, TiffCountryman. You can email me, you could hit me up, whatever. It's whatever. TiffanyCountryman.com.
Awesome. All right, there you have it. When you are ready to connect with Tiff, you got all her information. It's going to also be in the description of the video, as well as the audio. Her details on where you can connect with her, and her bio also will be in there, so that you can read all about her. So thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast, Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi, with my guest Tiff Countryman. I'm super grateful that she has decided to join us today. So again, thank you for, just sharing in this time that we've had right here. And I've enjoyed it, and Tiff has enjoyed it, and I hope that you have as well. So thank you again. Bye now.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi.